Saturday. You hanging out with the boys of the Heartland. We're gonna do a quick recap of the first three rounds, let you know what our favorite teams are thinking, what we think of the draft overall, and just kind of keep you up to date. The fourth round has started, so we've all got that going with us too, and we'll just keep you up to date with what's going on with that also. But just want to give you a little bit of a little more content and see what we can do and keep you going with all the stuff that we're doing here. So, as always, you can reach out to us, and let us know what you want to hear, what you want to talk about, and you can reach out on our social medias, Instagram and Twitter at Heartland Pulse. You can search us on YouTube. That's probably what you did now to find us here. And then also find us on Facebook. Also, just search Pulse of the Heartland. Let us know what you think. Like, subscribe, all our stuff, and let your friends know so they can do the same. This is Uncle Joe. We got Ryan and Homer Bryant with us. How you guys doing?
Oh, fantastic. How are you this lovely day?
Good. Sweaty and sticky. It's rained last night, and now it's like 75 degrees here, so it's real humid down here in Missouri.
Oof.
Yeah.
No, so we had those huge thunderstorms here as well. I think I'm going to stay inside as much as I can today. Watch the NFL draft probably.
Hell yeah, I don't blame you. So, as always, we go around. What are you guys sipping on? Ryan, I heard you open a drink a little bit earlier.
Yeah, I just have a red Monster Energy.
Yeah, nice.
That's it.
Right now. I forgot to get something to drink.
I had a bang going earlier, and after I went to watch Maisie's soccer game, and I got home, and I'm like, you know what sounds refreshing? A little High Noon. So I'm sipping on a passion fruit High Noon.
That's how good the soccer game was.
Drives you to drink.
There was probably 100 goals, but half of them were in the wrong one. So
Wolf.
yeah, it's 3 and 4 year olds, so that's fine.
Yeah.
Funny.
But anyway, we'll jump right into this. First things first. Thoughts on the first round, the first 3 rounds, everything that's happened so far. I know the first round was super entertaining, but what do you guys think? Bryant, you want to start us off?
Ryan or Brian? Sorry.
Oh, sorry. Homer Bryant.
Homer, thank you. Okay.
I'll just call you Homer.
I really enjoyed it. I mean, they talked about it the whole time, and honestly, every round, there's been so many freaking trades that have been going on back and forth. So even when you're expecting one guy to go, all of a sudden it's the Chiefs are jumping up to 23 specifically in the first round, and and they're grabbing their cornerback there. I don't know. I've been enjoying it because it's not been between every segment and every pick. It goes back to, oh well, what about Trevor Lawrence? What do we think this is going to mean for the Jaguars? It's like, okay, he had his moment. He's had all off season. He was number one. Let's go to these other guys. So
right.
It's kind of nice having just Kenny Pickett as the only one, and it's a cool story. There was a couple of those where they're just moving across town and kind of that hometown hero. But I've been really enjoying this one, especially since my team's doing all right in the draft too. I'm enjoying it so far.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Kenny Pickett, very good story. Huge surprise for me, but we can get into that later. I love that he's staying in Pittsburgh and everything. But yeah, Ryan, what about you? What do you think?
It's been entertaining. I enjoyed that it was probably one of the fastest drafts that I remember. First rounds I remember went by really quick. That I know I was watching Pat McAfee's broadcast on draft day, and he was saying, this could be a 5-hour production. Well, it didn't end up being a 5-hour production because it went by so dang quick. So that was nice. I think that's something that needs to happen every year, to be honest. Lots of trades, lots of things people didn't expect. I know my team did a couple things I didn't expect.
There have been a lot of people. We might as well jump into that. There's been a lot of people questioning, not only it's fine to trade, honestly, and some extra picks, but why are you trading and helping in conference rivals? And they're getting good picks out of them,
Yeah, that's the thing that's most upsetting to me is I mean, first round you trade it to Detroit. Detroit's going to Detroit. I feel like they're going to get some awesome players, but do they have the personnel to actually make it work out? But at the same time, you dropped 20 positions in the first round.
Yeah.
And gave the Lions, who already had the second pick, give them the 12th pick, so you make them get way better. the choice of the safety, he's a phenomenal player, so he's going to be a great addition to the Vikings, but that wasn't a need that they had, in my opinion. That a player going in their second year, Cam Bynum, who when he was on the field last year was actually, in my opinion, the Vikings' best safety, even over Harrison Smith, to be honest. So that was a surprise that they went with safety. The second round, why on earth would you give the Packers a better pick, especially to get a weapon for Aaron Rodgers? That is just stupid to me. It worked out for the picks, but you're telling me that there weren't any other teams that wanted to trade up. Like you guys said, there's nothing wrong with trading, but to your division rival who's won the division the last 3 years, why would you do that? But we did end up getting a cornerback out of that after we traded to Indianapolis for another quicker pick, an earlier pick. So that was good. We got the need that I felt needed to be filled the most, that cornerback. It's just why trade division rivals? Hopefully, it's funny because after the first pick with trade with Detroit, Ben Lieber, a former linebacker for the Vikings, he was kind of like, okay, here's the silver lining. This is why this is okay, all this stuff. After they did it with the Packers, they were kind of like, he's like, okay, I've got nothing for this. I have no reason why this happened. No clue why this happened. So, that's why I'm not an NFL GM. I don't know what exactly is happening, I guess, but it makes a lot of people scratch your heads when you're letting your division rival and division champion move up a lot of positions to get a weapon.
Yeah.
But overall, the Vikings, I feel like they've had a good draft. I don't know much about that linebacker out of Oklahoma. Hopefully, but I know that's a spot we definitely needed with Anthony Barr leaving. So the defense is what was really holding us back. We were ranked 30th and 29th the last 2 seasons on defense. So hopefully this helps fix that.
Absolutely. How do you feel about Falcons so far, Joey?
Well, I'm indifferent at the moment. But Ryan, real quick, when did Anthony Barr leave?
He hasn't re-signed with him. He's still a free agent, but he played last season. I mean, he played half the season. He was injured for half the season. But yeah, it was one of those. He was Zim's first draft pick, so he kind of stayed around with the Vikings. Do you remember him doing the whole sign with the New York Jets, then back out and go to the Vikings situation? So that happened, and with Zim leaving, I think that was kind of the writing on the wall for Barr to leave too.
That makes more sense. Yeah. Hey, this is Dart, everybody. I don't know if you've seen him before. You probably have heard him, but he just came in from outside, and if I don't scratch him real quick, he's going to be all over the rest of the audio. So let's get this out of the way quick.
Give you a couple scratches if you don't.
Yeah, exactly. Or like he already has, giving me poison ivy all over my body. So that's fucking.
There you go.
Yeah.
The gift that keeps on giving.
Yeah, exactly. Anyway, touching back on the Falcons, as you see, I got my Julio Jones jersey on, my old school Falcons hat, trying to get some of that juju back. I'm okay with the positions that they drafted. I am not okay with who they drafted. Very first round, Drake London, very first receiver taken off the board. I was like, oh man, why? I wanted a receiver. If we're going to give Mariota a chance, if we're going to give whoever the next quarterback is going to be, which we kind of found out who the fuck that was, which I'm also not happy about. Why are we getting the same target that we have in Kyle Pitts? Give me a speedster. Give me someone in the slot. Give me a different target to throw defenses off. You basically just drafted a taller, skinnier Kyle Pitts that couldn't get separation in the Pac-12. You're expecting him to do that in the NFL now? I mean, come on, guys. Not happy. I mean, again, I'm happy that they took a receiver. I'm not happy about who they took. So maybe they'll pick up someone in free agency. I don't know. But then their second round pick, I'm trying to scroll back up to get to it.
Remember, we got Tyreek Hill in day 3, so they're always available. It's just you gotta draft them well. I would say. What do you? I think the biggest one, everyone knows, no offense, a team that's drafting that high, they got to get their defensive players, and I guess they saw it always shocks me when a Montana State and a Western Kentucky guy go that high. But again, the teams, they must know something we don't or see something. But how do you feel about Desmond Riddler? As I guess now, do you think it was more like he's the de facto replacement for Matt Ryan or Mariota down the line, or is it just he's too good of a value that late to at least grab him? You have a solid backup now.
Well, I don't like either of those. I don't like the points you made for either one of those because he's a good value. I mean, I like your points, but I don't think it's a good Falcons fit.
Mm-hmm.
He's a good value if Malik Willis, Matt Corral, and Sam Howell aren't there. Malik Willis was regarded as maybe the highest ceiling in the draft, and he's still available at your pick at 74.
Yeah, I remember was it the combine week or the pro day or whatever? All of a sudden, he shot into a top 10 projection.
Right, and he didn't get drafted until 83, and I don't know why they took Ritter in front of him. Ritter must have just impressed the Falcons like crazy because my favorite quarterback was going to be Corral. I really thought he had the most NFL-ready personality. He has got a fucking cannon. He played for Lane Kiffin, so he played in a pro-style offense. Like, it hit all the buttons for me with Matt Corral, but yeah, Ritter to me is just Mariota 2.0. He can throw on the run. He's got a good arm, but he's not accurate. I like them taking a quarterback in the third round. That's fine. Take a flyer, see if we can have someone, sit behind Mariota a year. Maybe they'll become, an NFL ready quarterback, just not this quarterback. Like I thought there was at least two. You could make an argument for Sam Howell. He might have been better than Desmond Ritter. I also thought that all three of those could have been taken over Kenny Pickett. But again, like we said earlier, that was a good story for him in Pittsburgh. I didn't think he was that talented to go in the first round, but whatever, if that happens, that's not my team. So overall, I think the Falcons are making good choices with the positions they're going after. I hope these players can develop and fit into the system. For me right now, I'm going to give them a C if I'm doing draft grades because of them taking the right positions, but not the right people, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see that. I would say since Clark isn't here, I'll just kind of go over the Chiefs picks real quick. And again, this is kind of exactly like I said on the actual pod is they're going to pick players that I'm going to question at first. And I know that they can do well, but it's like really that guy compared to, well, like you said, Matt Corral over whoever. But like I was always shocked when we're getting into the second and third round where it's like Nakobe Dean. Why are we not taking a solid player that we know, a linebacker like a Nakobe Dean? And then all of a sudden, we're picking up let me get the list pulled up again. We're taking the Leo Chenal out of Wisconsin, which I did kind of see a badass photo of him. He was lined up in his arm. He wrote death row on his arm. So I don't know, those little things kind of make me feel like, well, maybe he's a badass out there, But real quick, for the Chiefs, the main three that they needed that we've been talking about is wide receiver, defensive line, and cornerback. And their first three picks, they take a quarterback out of Washington, which worked out last time until we traded him with Marcus Peters. So I trust that he's going to be pro ready. That Purdue edge guy that we were talking about, that George Karlaftis, they had actually been one of the guys in the mock drafts I'd seen had dropped that far, kind of compared to a smaller J.J. Watt. So I don't know if that's because he's white and plays defensive line, but that was the comparison people were throwing out there. Skye Moore, which I don't know too much about. I know he was all MAC, but it sounds like he's got the biggest hands in the draft, and he's another speedster. So, with the Chiefs offense, that's about all you need. And then they solidified defense a little bit. They got another backup safety from Cincinnati to kind of fill in for that Tyron hole that we have. And then another solid linebacker, at least from what I've seen so far. So, I think, again, in Veach I trust. So, I'd probably, I'd give it a B+A. I really don't know anything about these guys deeper into the draft, but I would say the Chiefs definitely have one of the best drafts that I've seen out of the teams. There's probably only one team that I'd put above that.
But only one team you put above it? Who
for a better draft.
Yeah, right. Well, who?
Jets, man.
Yeah, Jets and Giants both balled out that first round.
And it's pretty easy when you have two of the top 10 picks and you can really, pick and choose the best at the position. But, they really, the Jets, this is probably the most aggressive I've actually seen them.
Mhm.
And, obviously I'm going to have a little bit of a soft spot because they took Breece Hall as well. But, they were able to grab, Sauce Gardner, if not 1A with Stingley there. Or Stingley, sorry. Oh, shit, let me get the list in front of me. But, they got a bunch of guys that they absolutely needed, and they can, make work right away.
Right. Well, now you can be just like Hawkeye fans when the Jets took Sean Green. You can be a de facto Jets fan for 3 years until they pan out and don't do shit in the league because the Jets ruined them.
That's the difference between Sean Green and Breece Hall. Breece Hall is going to power through it.
If he powers through the New York Jets, all kudos to him. I will be the hugest Breece Hall fan.
Okay, sorry. I finally got it in front of me. Yeah, it's Sauce Gardner at quarterback. I mean, probably I can almost guarantee you would have preferred Garrett Wilson, wide receiver, over Drake London, Joey.
1,000%. Yes.
Yeah. Then
Chris Olave or Jameson Williams to me was the best receiver in the draft. Also a former Ohio State player. I wish they would have taken him, but whatever. It is what it is now.
I wouldn't say so. I mean, fucking laptop's going slow, but Garrett Wilson. They got Jermaine Johnson. They traded up for him aggressively. Then they traded up for Breece Hall. So I mean, you can kind of make your arguments, but they in my opinion they took 3 of the top players at 3 different positions that they needed.
Right.
So I don't know if running back was absolutely needed, but having another weapon to help out Zach Wilson, they're going to do that, 10 times out of 10.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really thought the Chiefs were going to be a little more aggressive and go get Jermaine Johnson, to be honest with you. Karlaftis, I think, is a good pick, but I think Jermaine Johnson was the more ready now type player. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, when they traded up to 30, I thought for sure maybe they would jump up to 26 before Jermaine went. But either way, going back to the Vikings, though, I'm sure you're happy that Ed Ingram went there. Huh, Ryan? Oh, technical difficulties. You can't hear him.
Oh, yeah, let me.
It's the LSU guard, Ed Ingram.
I had you on mute. Sorry.
Oh, okay.
I'm trying. I don't want you to hear the garage sale next door, or the dog, or the dog barking at the garage sale next. What's that?
They got any good value picks over there? I
haven't been over there yet. But there's vehicle door slamming constantly. There's a dog that's barking at the vehicle doors, and there's a baby crying in the room. So trying to, but yes, it's cool getting someone from LSU. Some controversy with that one. He's the one that he was out a year because he was, I guess, possible touching of minors and back in like 2018 or 2019. So they said they did a lot of background check on him and nothing ever came from the case. They actually supposedly they went to court, and the girls that accused him actually never even showed up to court. So hopefully that says the truth there. If he could keep Max Johnson safe, he can probably keep Kirk Cousins safe, I guess. Keep him guarded. Yeah. That's definitely a need that we had. Again, our offensive line has not been top notch, even though our offense has been pretty good. But I'm happy with the picks. I'm really happy with the picks. Just how we went about it is the only question. But we needed a corner. We needed some guard help. And we needed a linebacker. So.
I know that Andrew Booth, I think it was Trent that was saying he wanted him in the first round. So that's kind of nice to be able to get him early second.
I was, before the combine and all that, they were projecting Stingley possibly going to the Vikings, which I was really hoping for. But obviously that didn't work out. His stock went way up. But yeah, I think that was a great pick, and we got him at a good pick too. We didn't have to sell the farm to get him early or anything. We got him at a good time. So I think they're getting the right players. Let's just hope we don't have the CB whispering coach we used to have. So let's hope we can get them developed into good starters for the Vikings.
Right, absolutely. So
all right, well, let's jump in since we kind of covered our favorite teams. Let's try and cover the other teams that we got going on. Who do we think had the best and worst drafts? I know Bryant already touched with the Jets. I agree with him on that one. As far as worse, I'm not a huge Trayvon Walker fan, so I might go Jacksonville, but I got to look at that some more.
yeah, I would say that one's up there. One real quick note: I keep laughing because I'm watching the draft in the background. If you notice, my eyes wandering, and like you get to a Jacksonville and their clear needs. Literally, the Texans, every position was a need. I think except for quarterback, and I think running, or I don't even think running back was on there. But otherwise, it was like wide receiver, tight end, offensive line, defensive line. Like it was like across the whole fucking board. Like punter was the one that they don't need.
Yep.
As far as worst drafts, I'd probably have to put Jacksonville up there, just because do they have a head coach yet? Replacement?
Doug Peterson, isn't it?
It is Doug Peterson. Okay, so I mean, I don't know. He got the Eagles where they needed to be in a few years, so clearly he knows what he's doing. I'm trying. I mean, I guess you probably have to throw up there the Rams just because they don't hardly have any picks. They got one. I mean, they only have one pick so far, and it's a guard from Wisconsin, which, you know what, if you're going to pick a guard from any, university in country, it might as well be Wisconsin. They're going to be huge, and they're going to block well, but.
Right.
Oh, go ahead.
You're good. You're good.
I'm going to go with Seattle. They don't have a quarterback, in my opinion, still. And then, the whole time, Russell Wilson wants some protection, and they go ahead and draft 2 offensive tackles in this draft. So, the thing that pissed off Wilson the most, they finally get rid of him, and they actually do what he wants. Like I said, they didn't help their quarterback situation, and just bad timing on their part. So, I'm going to go with Seattle.
I like that. Yeah, both are good picks. Like I said,
they also drafted a running back, and they already have Rashad Penny and Chris Carson.
Yeah, but didn't both of them struggle with injuries last year too?
They did, but you got to hope they're going to come back. I mean, you have, in my opinion, you have something more important than a running back at this moment.
Yeah, but I mean, taking a rookie running back and having that contract, I mean, in the 3rd, 4th round, that's not terrible. I agree with you. There's other things.
Christian, who else is there? For the
What's
running
that?
back. Who are the Seattle running backs? Isn't it like
Chris Carson and Rashad Penny?
Oh, shit. They took Kenneth Walker.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with you then. That you have those 2. Why do you need to take another big name running back? That was pick 41. They could have filled in with way more defense, or
maybe he can play quarterback better than Drew Lock and Geno Smith.
Maybe. Yeah, they're just drafting offensive tackle so Jimmy G can stay upright when he gets up there.
Yeah, I'm saying, and they're possibly, with trying to solidify the line in another running back. Maybe they're trying to establish their running team now, since, like you said, they don't have any quarterback. Right. It's kind of interesting that because they were one of the suitors that we previously heard about for Baker Mayfield. I know they already got Drew Lock, and who was the other quarterback? Sorry,
Geno Smith.
Yeah, Geno Smith, but I think we'd all take Baker Mayfield ahead of those 2, and I think all these teams know that he's not playing for the Browns. Why are we going to trade anything of value to you? You're going to give him to us for free, or you're going to pay a quarterback to sit on the bench, or you're paying another quarterback astronomically more to hopefully he doesn't go out and about on the town after the game.
My understanding is whoever wants to trade for him wants the Browns to pay part of his salary.
Yeah.
Or the cap hit. The Browns aren't going for that.
So if he doesn't show up to like training camp or anything, so is he owed his contract, or is like if he holds out?
I'm not positive.
I'm sure not positive.
So that might be an interesting thing to come up on day 3 here, but.
Well, I was listening to another draft analysis, and they were talking about how it's crazy that no one's traded for either one of them yet, and by now it's kind of the thinking that both teams will just cut those 2 quarterbacks, and then they'll just be on the free market.
Yeah, which I don't know. Like we've discussed it before, so we can go back to the draft. But I mean, Baker Mayfield has given them about as much as he can, provided solidarity at least at one position for the Browns, which they didn't have any for years, and then 4 years later you dump them for a guy that has 20 accusations against him, and
Right.
pays an astronomical amount of money. So,
and hasn't thrown a pass in 2 years.
yeah, that's what you want in your QB. That's for sure.
Yeah, in Baker, he didn't have the best season last season, but he was obviously injured. He has that fixed. He'll be good as new.
Yeah. Well, hopefully.
Yep.
So that'll be probably something coming up. But I don't know. Do you think we've kind of I mean, was there anyone that was kind of the biggest reach that we felt, or like I guess honestly, it mentions here the biggest drop. I still think Nakobe Dean, which they mentioned like there was medical reports that maybe didn't, I guess, discuss his pec injury as much as it should. Was there anyone else that you felt that kind of dropped that really shocked you?
I thought not getting one of the other three quarterbacks in the second round for anybody was kind of telling. I mean, It was weird. I also thought that because Malik Willis, like I mentioned earlier, seemed to be everyone in the top 10 thought that he was going to, or everyone thought he was going to go in the top 10, and then he just dropped clear to the third. So
that is a very interesting pickup by the Titans because they have Ryan Tannehill, wide receiver to quarterback, that isn't the greatest. And then your backup is now a very raw prospect that played at Liberty. That is he playing even remotely close to the speed that you're going to see in the NFL?
Right.
It sounds like they didn't even ask Tannehill or let Tannehill know they were trading up to get him.
Really?
Surprise.
Yeah. Well, so speaking of those surprises, how about fucking Hollywood Brown going from the Ravens to the Cardinals? He's at the Cardinals draft party and doesn't even tell his best friend Lamar Jackson, and Lamar Jackson doesn't find out. Yeah, supposed best friend.
Lamar was having a bad day.
Yeah.
Well, my favorite thing was it happened, and that got announced right as the Linderbaum draft or the pick took place, and everyone's like, "Oh, Lamar hates Tyler Linderbaum." It's like, no, he hates that he didn't know about the trade. It wasn't that he hates the pick.
He hates that his one solid, one solid player, wide receiver, just got traded away. It happened to be his best friend on the team.
Right, and he had no idea.
Do you think he's going to be requesting a trade here coming up?
What team needs a running back?
Well, he'll be a free agent after this year, won't he? Yeah, he's going to be the most overpaid running back on the planet.
I've just never he won the MVP a few years ago. I've just been, but now you're seeing Mahomes and you're seeing Josh Allen and you're seeing Burrow that can be a running quarterback, but they're doing it better because they're also throwing. So I don't know, Lamar. Sorry, man. I don't know. I always felt like Baltimore was a great place for him because no offense, no one ever expects great offense out of Baltimore. They expect that defense, but that actually. To spin on another point, how does Baltimore always have a fucking solid draft too? They're another one that's up there, probably top 3 for me on how they get now an all-star center for years. That Michigan player that just got injured that was going to be top 10. They have enough solid defense where they can let him sit for a year, and now they have another solid linebacker edge. It's just they always go off and have a great draft.
He needs to go into an NFC team. The AFC is way too stacked for him to be in it.
He can go to Seattle. I'll take that.
How about the fact that the Bengals didn't draft any protection for Burrow?
Well, that was the other thing I was going to talk about with Seattle is how do you draft Trevor Lawrence last year and not get anything to protect him? Like I understand if you get Trayvon Walker.
They got some solid pieces in the offseason, but you also need depth now.
Right, yeah, but I mean, you don't take anything to give him a weapon or protection. Like, that just didn't seem smart to me. But
you have to hope that Doug Peterson can coach their players up better than Urban Meyer did.
Right, and I suppose if ETN comes back, I mean, that's a big get for them too. That's basically another rookie coming back. So,
Is gambling legal in Maryland? I would assume not. The reason I asked Joey, because you said you wanted Lamar Jackson. What if you trade Lamar Jackson for Ridley and a couple other picks? Would you take that in a heartbeat?
Yes.
Give Baltimore a wide receiver they need for whoever the backup will be. You get Lamar. I think that'd be a pretty solid trade for you.
You have to remember, though, that Ridley is suspended for all they've said so far is at least 2022. They don't know anything after that. So. But yeah, Maryland is good to have sports betting. So,
all right, well, make the trade happen, Joey.
I'll get on the phone right now.
Get on the horn.
I did just buy stuff at Home Depot this week, so Arthur Blank should listen to me.
Yeah, makes you a part owner of the team, right?
Exactly. Exactly. And if he doesn't listen to me, I'll get Gary Barter on the phone with him because everyone listens to that motherfucker.
I have I'm sorry, going back to the Bengals. I have the Bengals picks finally loaded up here. It says their top needs are cornerback, defensive line, and tight end. It doesn't even mention offensive line.
Did they just have a ton of injuries in the playoffs?
Possibly, but I know they got rid of. I think they got rid of at least one of the starters from last year. You would think after all last year, you see a solid quarterback play, you see solid wide receiver play. The defense is amazing. All of that encompasses. They go, what's the one thing that's missing? Oh, we got sacked a record number of times in like 2 of our 4 games. Yeah, we don't need a fucking ball.
I guess this offseason they signed Lale Collins, so he's an OT, Alex Kappa, and Ted Harris. So I guess they did do some in the free agency.
You'd think you'd want some depth behind it too, like because again, one injury and all of a sudden the star-studded tackle that you just picked up, now you have no one behind it, you know?
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. He was the most sacked QB in the NFL last year, and I mean, still have the success he did. Give him some protection. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean that would be the one thing because I mean even the Perrine and I'm trying to think the other running back, the starter, but I mean you got solid running backs. You are set in wide receiver now. I mean, and wide receiver honestly nowadays is kind of plug and play. I think that's where everyone was shocked that Chiefs fans aren't as sad about Tyreek leaving. Yeah, yes, he's irreplaceable, but you get 90% of him. Plug and playing with different people. So
I am 1,000% going to disagree with you. It's only plug and play if you're the fucking Chiefs. That's the only way the receiver is plug and play. It's not that way other teams.
Yeah. If the Vikings got rid of Justin Jefferson, that would not be good.
Right. Yeah.
Well,
just look. I hate to bring up my Falcons again, but just look at what the fuck's going on there. Like, it's not plug and play for Atlanta. That's even with Matty Ice this last year. So
just start drafting everyone that runs under a 4-4 at wide receiver, and then slowly the pieces start coming together. And then you have to have you already got the tight end. You have a solid tight end that's super tall. So there you go. Just start drafting the fastest motherfuckers out there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't understand where Drake London came from. I mean, I know it came from USC, but
now we're all starting to sound like Al Davis. Just draft the fastest person. You can't coach speed. So
every team just has 5 Darius Haywood Bays.
Darius Hayward Bay. Jesus Christ, forgot about that one. They also had like that safety from Ohio that no one had on their draft boards. They drafted him in the second round. I'm nostalgic for peak Raiders that shit the bed in the draft. I want to see more of that, please. Seems like everyone in the AFC West is starting to get competent. It's pissing me off.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
So I just got more mad about the reaches and stuff for the Falcons because just realized Nakobe Dean was taken 1 pick after the Falcons took D'Angelo Malone, this edge rusher from Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
What? Why did you not take Dean? We don't have any linebackers.
You don't like the Zips? The Western Kentucky?
No, I'm just saying Nakobe Dean, I could watch him with my eyes and he's good.
There must be something with that Peck being worse. And we knew he wasn't the most pro athletic on that team. It's just SEC that he's surrounded by. But when you saw multiple linebackers on the team ahead of him and so many, he was probably the 6th or 7th person off of that team that was drafted, and he fucking wasn't the defensive player of the year. I mean, as a casual fan, that just never makes sense to me. They vote for him. He is the best player in the country, drafted 6th in the NFL.
Right.
Off of that defense.
Right, exactly. Oh well, we'll get it all figured out. But
just a little lighthearted question I had to ask real quick. How'd you feel about that Vikings presenter that they had to bring someone up and say, "Can you just give the fucking pick so we can get the It was the guy from Blue Mountain State that was the coach, and he was making a presentation, and they had to have a lady come up there and tell him to just do the draft pick. Did any of you catch that?
I actually didn't see that. But I saw a lot on Twitter. I saw a lot of it on Twitter, but I actually did not see the actual situation.
it was the coach for Blue Mountain State, and he's going, "Oh, I was drafted in '72, and it was kind of tough to get a purple suit, but I found and like that he just stretched out this whole story about him and Blue Mountain State and who are my GOAT fans and we hate the Packers, don't we? Cheeseheads." And he was just saying all these key words. It's like finally someone in the NFL like came up to his ears like, "Can you just give the fucking pick? We have 30 other teams that have to go tonight."
They must time that perfectly before the Vikings because round one, I'm sitting there watching and New Orleans traded up before the Vikings, and while it was like New Orleans pick is in was like on there for like 5 minutes while they had everyone announcing about Amazon Prime getting NFL games, and that went on for like 10 minutes, and I'm just like, are you freaking kidding me? The Vikings are on the clock right now. Oh no, never mind. I go on Twitter. The Vikings aren't on the clock because they traded to Detroit. I would have never found that out if I was watching TV for 10 more minutes. Yeah. So it's just like they must be timing it perfect with the Vikings.
So this is courtesy of @SmileyBlanto on Twitter. Minnesota Vikings not only traded premium picks to fuel their division opponents with possibly elite premium position players, but then followed that up by rolling out that gong show hook on their own dementia patient draft presenter. Everything's Vikings is a farce.
Dude, try being a fan of this team. It's just,
it's
something else.
And I love that there's different presenters. Like it was Keegan Michael Key was up there. He did his quick 30 minutes. Hey, how you doing? I'm loud, blah, and then he gave the pick. And like there's like here's a Make-A-Wish. The kid goes, hey, thanks everyone, appreciate the opportunity. Now for the 6-time world champion Patriots, lets the booze come in. You get that little extra time. But he was just like. He was like, I'm taking my full 5 minutes and I'm going to fucking use them. And like they had to bring some, like I said, I was seriously sitting there like, you're kind of on your, when I'm watching the draft, I'm on my phone. And after a while, I'm like, is this guy still fucking talking? I'm waiting to see the highlights of who you picked. So,
well, and that's why I was watching Pat McAfee because it's entertaining. And then I was kind of switching between that and then whatever station Mel Kiper was on. Freaking Mel Kiper is just, how is he still on there?
Todd. Yeah.
And his drafts, his whatever mocks are usually way the hell off. It's just nuts that guy is the world renowned mock drafter.
I love when the Vikings just took a cornerback from Missouri, Caleb Evans.
We need him.
Instant reaction. Okay, needed him. There we go.
I don't know anything about him, but if it's got DB, it's perfectly fine with me.
Pretty sure Mizzou had the worst. Pretty sure Mizzou had the worst defense in the SEC last year, but could be wrong.
Yeah.
Ooh, Dane Belton from Iowa went to the Giants.
In his career, he has 110 tackles and 1 interception, 17 passes defended.
That doesn't seem good, but
better than what I could do, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I can't keep up with receivers, so.
Yeah.
Speaking of stats from the cornerback position, did you guys see the first night that Sauce Gardner didn't give up a single touchdown in his college career?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That's insane. I mean, at some point, there's got to be a 6'10" receiver that just went up and got something over the top of him. Man, that is just nuts.
And that includes playing Alabama in the championship.
Right.
Yeah. Well, and that was honestly, that was the big thing I knew early last year when we do, and I'd like to do it for the pod next year and kind of an interesting for any of the viewers that do it. We do our top 3 Heisman picks, and then we have a dark horse that's someone that's not basically quarterback, running back, wide receiver. For anyone basically who's not going to win but has the highest chance, and that's why I picked Sauce because before that his junior, and then you saw his senior year, never allowed a touchdown. I thought that was going to pick up way more traction, and I know. Joe, you had Stingley, didn't you?
I did. Yep.
Yeah.
I took him at the beginning and then dropped him in the middle because of his injury. But I had him to go to begin the season.
So no, I would say we. I don't know. That definitely is. I like that we do that. The Heisman picks and you can drop them and pick them up. That dark horse was kind of fun little twist this year to do.
Yeah, we could see if we get TJ and Dylan on the podcast with that, and we could all do it. I'd love to win everyone's money next year instead of just this year.
Yeah. Hey, I got the dark horse money. I made my money back.
That's right.
Apparently, the Vikings traded up to get this guy. So,
Well, they must have seen. Maybe he's a bigger guy, like 6'2" or something. I did not catch the statistics when it was on my screen.
I'll try to find him here.
So what else do we have, Joey? We already talked about the QB drop. Best worst. I mean, I guess is there anyone that guys are looking to pick up on day 3 here?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there? Yeah. From your teams, is there anything, a need that you want filled? For the Falcons, I just want them to pick up a speedy receiver. I don't care who the fuck he is. I don't care how many balls he dropped last year. Just give me someone that is gonna make a defense have to play over the top.
Are you okay if he has a criminal past? Because that was kind of when the Chiefs drafted Tyreek Hill. That was the questionable. He was super speedy, but he didn't play in his last year.
We just took a guard that's got a criminal past. So hey.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's the kind of takeaway on these day 3s where when you're taking those chances, or like a medical issue. So I don't blame you. Like you said, just get. I always said it before the Chiefs finally drafted him. I was like, can we just draft the bad boys or badasses, the ones that have that questionable past? Because I know we might be able to contain them and hold them to it and just get that talent that you'd see like the Steelers. They bring in that one, that one guy that it would just be, he'd be super talented, but he has the outside pressures. They have a good enough locker room to hold them together and be able to make something.
We want a real life longest yard mean machine team going here.
Yes. There we go. I
like
long-winded it, and you set it up perfectly. Mean
machine. Guys, I gotta head out here, but it's fun doing this.
Yeah, good. We'll wrap it up anyway, but yeah, we'll talk to you later, Ryan, man.
See ya.
See you on the pod. So, speedy receiver for you, Joey?
Yeah, and I see that the Falcons, their next pick isn't until number 8 in the 5th round. That should be right around the time I think Tyler Goodson goes. So, yeah, go ahead and give me that, and then I can go ahead and buy a new jersey for next year, even though he'll probably get cut, but that's fine.
I would say how many they're going to sell twos of dozens of those jerseys if Tyler Goodson gets drafted by
all his family members.
I would say I think for the Chiefs again, we just honestly anytime you're going to get an offensive lineman, solidify that line in front of Mahomes. He is the moneymaker. I think honestly, I would fall in love if they got Charlie Kolar from Iowa State, someone that can take a couple years behind Kelsey. Learn from him because he's only getting older. There's only more of a chance he's going to get injured. Other than that, again, if there's some of those questionable guys that have the speed on defense, we look at the AFC West this offseason. You got Russell Wilson for the Broncos. You have Khalil Mack for the Chargers. Everyone ramped up their offseason. We're going to have to be able to stop these offenses that are now trying to compete with the Chiefs. As well as, everyone's getting these rushers now, even if they're just on loan for a couple years to just compete. We've won it 6 straight years. Everyone wants to prevent the 7th. So I think if you can solidify the lines, get some, speedster on defense, I think I don't think there's any question Chiefs are going to win it a 7th time in a row, but it's going to be a lot tougher this year.
Right. I know that Chiefs did take that safety from Cincinnati, and I also took that McDuffie from Washington, right?
Yeah, McDuffie.
Yeah, so I think defensive backfield was probably pretty shored up for them. They can always pick up a couple more people in free agency or whatnot. But yeah, I agree with you. You got to protect Mahomes. He's, like you said, the moneymaker. And as you said earlier, basically receiver is plug and play when you have him. So, yeah, that would be smart for them to go after.
Sorry, I guess that's my Chiefs privilege showing that just plug and play the next guy.
Yeah, I know I brought it up. As soon as you said that, I'm just like, no, it's not that way, Bryant. But when you're a Chiefs fan, it is, because you and I could go out and play receiver, and Mahomes would find a way to get us a ball somehow.
I'd be a solid 4. I'd be the 4th option for sure. You don't throw it to me first, but
right, exactly.
I'm looking at we have 4 7th round picks. I'm just trying to think I always am shocked when you can find someone in the 7th that got 200 other people have been picked. How the hell you're going to get someone that's going to be able to, that's going to be able to play, which I know that's where Smith for the Chiefs last year, he fell that far because of a medical issue. So hopefully we can find some more diamonds in the rough like that, especially 7th round. You're probably looking for speed or size, and then a raw talent and mold them from there. So
yep, exactly. Well, I think I I think I'm good. I don't think I have too many more things that I need to get off
I think
my
we've
chest.
blathered on enough.
Sounds good for me. Cool. Well, thank you everyone that joined us today. We'll get this uploaded. It'll be on YouTube, and then I'll try and convert the audio, get that uploaded on the podcast forums as well. As always, find us on our social medias at Heartland Pulse for Twitter. Search Facebook, just search Pulse of the Heartland. If you're watching us on YouTube, you already know how to get there. But if you don't, just search Pulse of the Heartland for YouTube. And we'll try and give you more of a heads up when we do these in the future. But just kind of wanted to give you more content again for the draft, and hopefully your team did well and the rest of the draft goes well for what you want on your team.
Absolutely. All right,
Cool.
appreciate you guys.
Thank you, everybody. We'll talk to you soon.